Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man No Way Home Deluxe Doc Ock from, I think I said No Way Home, but it's technically, the box is labeled as Spider-Man 2, but I guess it has to be the same thing with like the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man where they had like a rights issue likeness-wise, and they were like, okay, so we have the likeness rights for Spider-Man 2 and Amazing Spider-Man 2, but we don't have them for No Way Home for these actors, so let's just do this. And I'm perfectly fine with that because either way, we got the figures that we wanted. And this figure, I had very low expectations when going into this figure because I personally don't care for the comic Doc Ock that we got. The way that the bendy wires port into the back and they just, I don't know, mine, I don't know if I got janky like versions or whatever. The VHS ones sucked for me, like all of those, they were too gummy and they all broke, like the figures themselves, and like the arms wouldn't stay up, and it was a big thing. It was awful, and I don't like anything that we've gotten in terms of Doc Ock, but this figure changes my mind completely. The only issue that I have with it is that the tentacles themselves are a little stiff, but I think that's just because of how thick they have to be. And honestly, with the fact they are stiff, I feel like that might be more beneficial to the figure. It just is something to be, take note of. But the biggest issue that I have with them connecting all that stuff, these arms, the way they have them, they're actually either fused or whatever to the figure. I haven't tried to go prying to pop them out because I don't want to ruin the figure. But when it was in the box, the arms, the tentacles were already inside the figure, which is just awesome. That is the biggest issue that I had with the comic Doc Ock. So that automatically made this figure so much better to me. But let's get into what he comes with. So technically the tentacles are part of the figure, so they're not really something that I can include as an accessory, but you can see the actual tentacles themselves, the ends of them on him right now. We have the pointed ones, which look really nice. I love these, and they are articulated as well. If I can get this to focus, you can also see there's unfortunately a little bit of paint rub on this guy too. I need this to focus. There we go. So yeah, these do have articulation points, so we'll go over these real quick as well. But you can get to the nice little, pokey pincer kind of thing, so he can have him jab somebody, which is really cool. I do like that. You also can technically have him grab somebody. It's going to be very difficult. And also, if this falls, I've had this guy like topple over, just because of balance. He doesn't have balance issues, but obviously, the tentacles, if you maneuver them the wrong way, it's going to fall over. Be careful because these do pop off relatively easily. And then for his bottom claws, he has these ones, which are not pointed. These look really nice. These are unfortunately not articulated. I wish they would have been. These would have been really good for like grabbing Spider-Man or something. But same level of detail as the ones on top. And then we also get a pair of these flat ones for making him able to stand, which is really cool. I love that these were included. You can tell which way they're supposed to go because these little pieces kind of go towards the... Oh, come on. I need you to focus for me here. These, you can tell like these are towards the ground, so you just got to slide them in. And these do just have little holes, so they're very easy to switch out because they're on here pretty much just friction wise. We're going to pop off the top one. I know that's not really the example we should be going with for this, but it's just a peg. It's only friction based, which is really nice. I do appreciate that because over time, if it wasn't just friction, it would probably get loose and then, cause some issues. He does have a pair of fists as well, as you can see on him right now, but he also comes with a kind of grip hand, gesturing about the sun in the palm of his hand kind of thing, which looks really good. I do like these leather gloves. They look very nice. And same thing for the other side. It is kind of a different hand. It's got more of a trigger finger, but not, an actual trigger finger, thankfully. So those are very nice. I do like that we have options for those. And now going over the detail on Otto, he looks really good. I do like this figure. He's got two separate coats under here too, which is really nice. I do like that. He's got the, the silver where it actually is connected. I am not going to go trying to take this coat off, but you technically could. You just have to feed it through all of the tentacles. You'd have to get them sticking straight back and all that if you wanted to try to put a cloth option on here. I think this plastic coat is not too bad. Obviously, like, for the things that you want Doc Ock to do, they're going to be mostly tentacle based, or his arms, gesturing and all that stuff. You're not going to really have him be kicking all that much. And he stands up very well. And that's probably partially because of the fact that he does kind of have, they're not really big feet, but he's got, big old boots on, which is really nice for trying to get him to stand up stability-wise. He's got just a pair of, like, kind of grayish brown slacks as well, just the black shirt underneath. I know some people probably would have preferred him to have the like the shirtless look, because I feel like that would have been more, that would have been more reminiscent of the Toy Biz figure. But I do like this as an option, because then technically you could have both on display, because looking at the head sculpt on this is a great head sculpt, but the Toy Biz one was actually really good too. I don't know how they managed to do that, but this looks a lot like Alfred Molina, and I love it. You just kind of, you can also get underneath the glasses and see right there too. I don't feel like trying to pull those off, but the glasses look really good, and he looks good without them too. If you look at any of those pictures, I think I'm going to keep mine on personally. The hair looks really good too. He's got a nice brown in there. And then color-wise for the tentacles, they also look really nice. They have a sort of gold kind of shimmer to them as well. It's like very, very subtle. Very subtle. You got to catch it in the right lighting. Like even here, I can see it with the naked eye, but through the lens, you can't really see it that well. So I do like that. You're just going to have to catch it in the right lighting. But I've had so much fun posing this guy around and taking the photos and all that stuff. Because, I mean, just look at this. Like the level of fun that you have with this figure is... the sky's the limit with him, really. I mean, I love having the bendy wires. I'm so glad that they aren't fixed tentacles on him. And speaking of the tentacles and them being bendy wire, let's go over articulations, starting with the tentacles. Like I said, they are bendy wires, so, I mean, they're very stiff. So you just gotta probably do two-hand with those. And they're not too hard to futz around with, but see what I was talking about? I just moved it a little bit, touched the piece, and this came off relatively easily, so that's something seriously to take note of. The tentacles, like I said, they're very stiff. They're a little tough, but I'd rather have them tough than loose, because it makes him very easy to stand on his own two tentacles. So, but as for the figure, his head is on a ball joint, so it can go up about that far, down that far, tilt, rotation, all that good stuff. His shoulders go out about that far, rotate all the way around, bicep swivel, single jointed elbows that go up about there. He has rotation at the elbow as well. All of his hands are back and forth hinges, and then of course rotate. He has a ball jointed waist that can go... oh, this is actually a floating piece too for his the bands in the middle, which is pretty cool. But can't really go that far forward. Can go a little bit, not too much. Can't really go back because of the tentacles, obviously. He's got rotation up there a little bit. Definitely, you're gonna have to, if you want more of it, you're gonna have to just, kind of get in there and all that stuff. So like it can move, it's just kind of difficult to do. His legs go out that far. Well, yeah, about that far. For whatever reason, the one's going out a little bit more than the other. Can go that far forward and that far back. He's got thigh swivel, double jointed knees, which are pinless, by the way. Can go back that far. He doesn't have an ankle swivel or anything, but his feet can go back that far. Can go up that far. And of course, he does have ankle pivot. And now on to some size comparisons. Here he is next to the Legends and Figuarts Tobies. And I think this looks really good. He's taller than both of them, which I think works. And color-wise, I feel like they match up perfectly to what they're supposed to be. Although the blue, I do feel like on the Legends is just a tad too bright. I don't personally mind it, though. I just think it, obviously compared to the Figuarts, it's color-wise is not as accurate. And then for some Raimi Trilogy villain comparison, here he is next to Green Goblin from No Way Home, of course, and then Sandman from No Way Home, of course, as well. But obviously, they're all three from the Raimi Trilogy, and I think this is so cool to have all three of these together. And then last but not least, if you want to get your multiversal shenanigans on, you can have him fight Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield, and I think these three look great together as well. I don't know if he's going to stay for very long because of the way that I just threw this together as fast as I could for the overall thoughts. But, I mean, it is very easy to get him into a quick standing up pose on the two tentacles, and I think it looks absolutely phenomenal like this. See, like you can see he's starting to fall already, but I mean, that's so cool. You really just kind of got to futz around with it, and once you get that sweet spot, I've had trouble with him falling over, but again, I mess around with it, and then I just set it up real quick. It's not something that I've spent like a ton of time on, but he's very easy to stand on his own with the tentacles, whatever you want to do with it. It's very easy to get him into Doc Ock poses, and I personally couldn't be happier with this figure. I think that the only issue that I really do have is the little pointy, parts of the tentacles falling off, because I actually lost one while I was trying to film this, and it's on the floor somewhere, and I really hope that I can find it. That's why I have this one closed right now, because you can't see that other one. So that really is the only issue that I have. I love that we have the alternate hands. I wish that we could have gotten alternate hands for Green Goblin as well. So I really love that they went that extra mile and gave us those, because they really didn't have to. And just the detail on this guy, the tentacles, the way they were executed, all of it. It's very simple in his design, but very intricate, if you know what I mean. And I love it. So that's going to do it for me, and I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.